Dear students, we have now this is now part 2 of 2. This particular video is a continuation from a previous video. The previous video was named as part 1 of 2. Now this video is named as part 2 of 2. Now we have learned this dimensional formula in the earlier video. You have learned the tips and techniques which you can effectively follow in order to solve the problem quick and efficiently. Now we are going to try and practice whatever tips and techniques what we have learned in the exercises which is drawn from the PYQ, that is past asked questions of NEET and JEE Main. We will now take up a few examples and apply whatever we have learned. Therefore, now this particular video, part 2 of 2, is will help you to apply what you have learned, right? Okay, fine. We will now go ahead with it. We will now try and apply our knowledge and our tips what you have learned with some examples. Now, there are going to be two types of questions which will be asked in the dimensional formula. One is, of course, a direct question which will ask you, which will test your knowledge about dimensional formula writing. Okay, take for example, now, which among the following options represent the dimensional formula of rate of change of torque with respect to time? Okay, now this is now asking you directly dimensional formula for torque by time. Okay. Or you could take dimensional formula for physical quantities is like this. Given the dimensional formula, which physical quantity this may represent? Option A, B, C, D. Okay, this also is a direct question asking you about knowledge about dimensional formula. Or take this particular question. Which are the following pairs of physical quantity have the same dimensional formula? Like for example, there is one pair which you would already come across in several questions is torque as well as energy both have the same dimensional formula. And then similarly, you would also be knowing that pressure and energy density both have the same dimensional formula. If such kind of a questions asking you which pair has got the same dimensional formula is very often asked. That kind of, therefore now this now type 1 is directly testing your knowledge the dimensional formula writing. Then the second, of course, is, therefore, as I said, now if not for this approach, as I told you that the tip 1, tip 2, tip 3 quantities directly you'll be able to write if it is there. Otherwise, use a convenient quantity which is energy or force. Okay, that is the approach for this. Now, let's now try and test it out our ability to apply whatever we have learned. Take the question which was asked in NEET 2022. The dimensions so and so belong to which? Okay, ml t per minute. Now look at it like this. Since you have already memorized this, M A L T 1212 plus minus. This stands for mu naught. Therefore, you can even easily identify that m power minus 1, a power m power plus 1, a power minus 2, and then L t power minus 2. This belongs to magnetic permeability is now straight away you are able to do. Okay, but still, if you're not able to actually identify it immediately from this, what you can do is like this. Now, self-induct, as I told you that link with the energy or force equation formula what you know. Now, for this, what you need to do it is self-inductance, you have to take half Li squared. half L squared is energy. Okay, energy is given by what is dimension formula? M L squared T power minus 2, because force into distance. Okay, therefore ml squared T power minus 2. Therefore now self-inductance L is nothing but energy divided by A squared. Okay, now check it up here. Now this is L squared is not occurring here, therefore this cannot be the answer. Okay, next you go to magnetic permeability. Of course we know that that is the answer. Okay, go to the third one. Electric permittivity is epsilon naught. Obviously you know epsilon naught, you already mugged up, therefore this is not the answer for this. And then magnetic flux is B into area. Okay, now you know very well that for B we are taken as F is equal to BIL should be the formula which you apply, which means now B is F by IL. What is that F? And then this is F is equal to ML T power minus 2 divided by L will therefore now this goes off, and then A power minus 1. Therefore you can check it up that that is not it, because L is missing. Therefore this also is not possible. No, or rather, no, we just got to see about B into A, therefore L squared. Therefore L squared comes, whereas this fellow is having only L. Not possible. Therefore, no other route is like this. But then as I told you, because that's the reason why I am asking you, because several questions will not directly ask about magnetic permeability or electric permittivity. Therefore, you should be able to answer them quite quickly if you remember them by means of memorizing it. Okay. Therefore, now that is like this. Now you go to this thing now. Now, for example, now gravitational constant. You use a formula which is nothing but Newton's law of gravitation. Newton's law of gravitation, which links the force. Therefore, as I told you that either link with force or energy in your formula which you choose. Therefore, now this can be chosen with force. What of energy? This is not directly energy, therefore you can use it. Then what is potential? Nothing but energy divided by mass. What is gravitational potential energy? Energy divided by one mass. Therefore, that also can be used with the energy. What about gravitational intensity? Nothing but small g, that is acceleration due to gravity. Therefore, straight away you will know that this is nothing but this. Therefore, now this is another example where you can straight away choose based on my what kind of a study technique which I am now advising. Okay, therefore now like this. Then what about the other? You can actually practice this kind of question. What about the other kinds of question? What it does is basically solving simultaneous equations, something like this. Let me now take an example and for solving. Okay, let's take now question number 9, and I'll tell you about what is this type 2 kind of questions involving dimensional analysis. Is going to be like this. Okay, now let's now go through this. Energy E, velocity V, and time T are chosen as a fundamental quantities, and therefore what the dimensional formula of surface tension will be. Surface tension, which we know, is nothing but force per length, and therefore is nothing m T power minus 2. Therefore this is now your left hand side surface tension. Now energy, therefore what we'll have to do is we'll have to write down the energy, which is m L squared T power minus 2, and then power you do not know, you want to solve it as, let's call it as A, and then velocity is L T power minus 1 power B, and then you have the time, which is nothing but T power C. Now you can actually now expand it, because this is equal to m power, we collect all this thing A, L power 2A plus B, and then T power minus 2A minus B plus C is equal to m T power minus 2. Therefore now A should be equal to 1, and then L powers, you see that 2A plus B equal to 0 on the left hand side, and then minus 2A minus B plus C must be equal to minus 2. Therefore, now from here you put L equal to, therefore A equal to 1, B equal to minus 2, you are getting 1, 2, minus 2, 4. Therefore, C should be equal to minus 6. Let us now check it up what we have done is correct or not. Force per length mt power minus 2 must be equal to then energy power m L square t power minus 2 power A, velocity L t power minus 1 power B, and then time power C. Therefore, collect all the terms. This is m t power minus 2 m power A L power 2A plus B, correct, and then t power minus 2A minus B plus C also is correct. Therefore, now equate the terms. M A equal to 1, and then what is now the L power 2A plus B must be equal to 0 is correct, and then the third term is minus 2A minus B plus C must be equal to minus 2. Therefore, from here A equal to 1 you put it here, you get B is equal to minus 2 is correct. Therefore, A equal to 1 minus 2 and plus 2 plus C equal to minus 2. Therefore, C equal to minus 2 we are getting. Therefore, then what is the answer? 1 minus 2 minus 2. Where is it? E 1 minus 2 minus 2. Therefore, B is the answer. Okay. Now, yeah, simple simultaneous equation forming. Therefore, there are only two types of questions which they asked. One is the direct knowledge of the dimension formula writing. Other is the indirect way of trying to make you to solve simultaneous equations and then identify. Therefore, now with this, now I have given you enough kind of practice questions. Basically, there are plenty of questions that are available in the past asked question. I always believe that you must first attack all the past asked question, and if you are able to be thorough with them and then be able to solve them quickly by yourself correctly without having to refer the solution, then it is ideal. Then you will be able to score very well 100% in the exam, provided you also take less time to solve the question, because you will be having, let us say for example, if you are NEET student, then you will have to actually solve 45 questions within 1 hour. And of course now devote, let us say, another about some 15 minutes for you going through the question and then deciding about which question to attack first, etc., etc. That means basically for each question you have only 1 minute time. Therefore, if it is now JEE question, you may having around 2 minutes time per question. Therefore, your ability is not only the knowledge part of it, or your ability to solve the question, but then solve the question within the very short time. That's the reason why I am now asking you. That's the reason why I am now asking you to actually follow my tips, which will help you not only to solve them correctly without any error, but also quickly and fast. So with this, and also as I am now telling that the please the NEET students, you please try attack all the past questions of the NEET, which I am now giving you this. Okay, I am just giving you this list of questions. Not only NEET, because NEET is here, you also try to attack JEE question. Now JEE question is supposed to take more time, but then generally I find that in this chapter, the kind of JEE question what they are asking is actually very similar level of difficulty as a NEET question. There is practically no difference between the NEET level as well as JEE level as far as this chapter is concerned. Therefore, it will be useful to you if you practice the JEE question also, especially because now the number of questions available in the past exam for the JEE is much more as compared to NEET, because they are having so many sessions as compared to the NEET. Therefore, you will have ample choice of trying to work out the practice questions. Therefore, now you also try as I said, NEET students, please attack both NEET as well as JEE past question. Similarly, JEE students, you also have to take up all the NEET questions as well as JEE questions, and in fact, you should also attack the JEE Advanced question also. And therefore, with these words, I wish you all the best, and then let us now try and then meet for the next part of this particular chapter, which is going to be something called significant digits. Okay, how to apply our knowledge about significant digits. Okay, that, as I told you, is going to be a very less kind of question what you will get. Anyway, we will have to know about that. Okay, and therefore with these words, I now close my session. Thank you very much.